Our lunch today. As a reminder, please silence your cell phones. For guests and visitors, my name is Jim Farmer, president of this club, and I'd like to welcome all of you to the 18th meeting of the 50th year of the Dublin Worthington Rotary Club. Our invocation and pledge of allegiance today will be offered by the one and only Win Wixel.
Let's pray. Oh, creative God, we come to you today as Rotarians. We are very thankful of the blessings provided this week, this last month, and this last year. Be with us as we work in the community to provide service to others. Be with us that you can help us serve the community and ourselves, knowing of the many things that are going on in this world. Especially right now, we ask that you guide us in matters of our governance. We know that we have to change, fine tune, but help us do so in a way that everybody can participate. We thank you again for the food and for the many blessings. Amen.
Which it stands, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our guest will now be introduced by Joe Patchen.
Thank you, Jim. And we have one guest today, Andy Deems, and would ask him to also tell us a little bit. I think he has an announcement for our benefit. Thank you.
So I'm Andy Deems. I am the president of Help I Need Transportation. Do I really need that?
Probably not.
So it's a nonprofit that helps people with car repairs that can't afford to get them fixed. They can come to us. We can generally do those repairs at low or free charge and help them to retain their jobs. I also give away cars if they're given to me. So we're always looking for car donations, but I have two events. One is short notice. Tomorrow night, there's an event in Gahanna. I have flyers if anybody would like. And it's just an outreach and informational event. I've reached out to 15 network clubs, 30 local organizations in Gahanna. The mayor will be there, some things like that. But I'm gonna have a young lady talk about a car that I gave her a year ago and how her life has changed 180 degrees. And she's gonna be there to talk about it. Her name's Hannah. Highly recommend if you can come. That'll be an event. I always provide first round and pizza and whatnot, so you get all that as well. And then in May, I have a volleyball tournament up in Delaware. That's sand volleyball. If you know any people that would like to play volleyball, we do make money off of the registrations. And there'll be some silent auction, 50-50, things of that nature. It's kind of all day, so I have flyers for both of those. And then lastly, I actually do work in the Worthington area. I own an addiction recovery center on East Wilson Bridge Road. So we help people come out of addiction, out of prison, and help them get back into the community, help them with housing, and I help them with finding jobs. And so, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Announcements. So anyone with same, please make your way to the podium.
Yeah, big important announcement.
All right, it's time for scholarships. So we're gonna start, I'm looking for volunteers to help interview the students and, go through the applications. And we should get those in about a week. And then we have to have the winners chosen by the 10th of October. So we have about 3.5 weeks. April. So we should have about 3 weeks, but anyway, I have a sign-up sheet that we're gonna pass around and there's a pin with it. Keep the pin and the sheet together, please. Thank you.
Thank you. Please don't confuse us any more than we already are. You're right.
Okay, I'm here today. We're now alive and recruiting people for the NGSE. The GSE program is an exchange with another country. For 24 days, we send a team to another country and they reciprocate by sending us a team from their country. And this late or early June to July, we want to send a team of 6 Rotarian, or could be Rotarians or non-Rotarians, to the country of Brazil. And it's kind of a shorter notice due to some factors still with COVID. We'd like to have a team of 6, and we'd like to have about 7 or 8 participants come and interview with us saying, I want to go, because we pay for your air flight and we pay for some of the clothing, you know, the Rotary jacket and things like that. And your month there, you're going to be dealing with vocational and personal home visits and tour the country. And you'll be staying with Rotarians down in Brazil to see how they live, what they eat, who they're going to vote for. And so I would like you to either contact me or Dave Hanson within the next several days to say, I think I know somebody works in a fire station, works in a department store, works in a hospital. Anybody in the community that between 21 and about 45 is eligible. This is not restricted to Rotarians. This is for anybody in the community of Dublin or Worthington. And the 6 people will be groomed or taken up by people in southeastern Ohio, of which we're probably in the northern corner of that. And we'll like to have 1 or 2 people that we can put in the pot to have them show their wares, and we might select them to give them that trip. So, one Wexel, yes.
Is it okay if the candidate is a relative of a Rotary?
Oh, sure, yes. The things that we look at is why they're interested in going to, like, in this case, Brazil. And we hope to get, when they come back, then they'll talk to the Rotary clubs around here and be a good
Right.
ombudsman for, hey, boy, Brazil's a nice place. This is what I learned. Hopefully, we will be getting them with, if they're a fireman, we'll get them into fire stations up here and they'll learn about.
Would you say again the date, the trip, the dates of the trip? Say again the dates of the trip.
The dates.
Oh, the dates. The dates are early June and to about July 4th. They have to get the planes, and so we're looking for the specific times, and there will be times that we can go with them through the week. Our club, we specialize in doing a lot of vocational. So if you're a fireman, we're gonna take you down to a fire station. We're gonna take you down to the state governing part that deals with emergencies and things. We'll be taking you to a training school. So they will get a lot of vocational input, as well as what happens when dinner and evening comes by, and hopefully they'll have some kids, the sponsors, and they can understand what some of the hot buttons that the kids have. So again, we need somebody within a week or so to be able to contact them and have them on a Sunday of March 23rd to see if we have 9 candidates, we can get 5 out of them. Okay.
Thank you, Wynn. Peggy.
Hey, everyone, guess what I'm doing here today? Talking
Giddy
about the night, oh, shush. Talking about the night at the races. On the table, you will see cards, these beautiful cards. It was designed by the beautiful Lisa Federico. Thank you, Lisa, very talented lady. And what I would like for each of you to do is to take a shot of this. Send it to all of your friends, neighbors, relatives that are 21 and over, and give them the opportunity to join us on April 23rd. The reason I'm promoting this so strongly is because the deadline to register is like April 7th. The event's on the 23rd, so we really can't just wait. We need to get everybody in the program that's gonna buy a horse or name a horse. We need you to register. It's very, very, very important. So if you would take this card, like I said, take a shot of it, send it to all your friends and neighbors. I know I have dozens of them, so to help me out, please do that. See you, Scott. I want to talk to you after this meeting. So.
Yes, as most of you know, for most of our social and other events, everybody signs up at the last minute. So this is one occasion where we have to sign up early in order to make it work with the program and getting the room reserved and all that. So please bear that in mind, and you've all received an email on this, and go ahead and sign up, you and your friends, before April 7th. Thank you.
This is the last news. Sign up. Saturday, we're going to be doing our food drive, Rotary food drive. It'll be only in Worthington. We'll be at Fresh Time, we'll be at Worthington Hills. And so I think the schedule was pretty well filled, but we can always use a few more folks. So if you're available Saturday, 9 to noon, show up and we'll find something for you to do.
Thank you. And finally, as if we don't have enough else going on, we do have a rah-rah next Wednesday at the Short North Stage Garden Theater down on near the intersection of Fifth Avenue and High Street. And I've given everybody a deadline of this Friday to let me know you're coming. If you don't tell me by then, I'm going to give you a deadline on Monday. And if you don't tell me by then, I'm going to extend it to Tuesday. But please let me know as soon as you can. Thank you. Okay, well, today we have a sergeant by the name of Ken Carey, and I'm sure he's going to roast all of us.
Right. And I'm gonna start by roasting Darnell, who walked in here with a lot of spring in his step like a 25-year-old kid. Apparently he got some cortisone in his lower back, and when he confused October and April, I was afraid maybe it spread to his brain. Put $1 in while you're doing it, please. Happy dollars. Let's start with happy bucks. Anybody? Jerry, you're always happy.
I'm happy because I had a trigger finger, which was driving me bananas. And the doctor said I can fix that. And so he cut me. And it's healing nicely. So I'm putting in $1 to appease the finger gods that they'll keep working on.
Who did you shoot?
I'm gonna shoot you.
Sure.
My granddaughter, who lives in Hanover, New Hampshire, her swim team won the state championship. It's going to be a Longhorn in Texas, at the University of Texas. So they have great coaches, including my son-in-law.
Good for her. And you, anybody else? Happy buck.
I'll just put one in because tomorrow we're leaving on a 3-week vacation.
Oh, there it is.
So,
Are you going somewhere warm?
oh yeah.
You want to tell us where?
Florida, New Orleans. Yeah.
Not bad. Good
I
for
think
you.
We'll make out with on the temperature.
It's a good time to be away. Anybody else? Happy bucks.
On that note, I'll be leaving for one of my trips to the Dominican Republic, where my wife is deemed to accompany me, so that should be fun, and I'll be taking some more Spanish lessons and meeting with our friends in San Diego.
Good for you. Since we got so many retirees in here, if you have gone or are going somewhere warm, throw in $1. Anybody else?
I
But my college is Michigan State. We're number 1 in the Big Ten. This weekend we'll decide whether we remain the only Big Ten, or if we lose a game, we might have to share the Big Ten ownership, but that's my happy dog.
They can still win the tournament, and that, like it or not, that counts for more than the regular season anyway.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
My 5-year-old granddaughter lost her first 2 teeth this past weekend, and she's still the cutest granddaughter in the world.
Let's hope they grow back. Other happy dollars.
Yeah, we had a great trip to Montaña de Luz in Honduras. It was safe, it was very productive, and it was warm and sunny.
Thank you for your contribution. Anybody else? Happy bucks. All right,
Hello, Ken. It's Alan on the screen. Can you hear me?
I can see you too.
All right. I don't have a happy dollar. In fact, it's the opposite, but I thought I would share that I looked at the obituaries this morning in the Dispatch and saw the name of Diane Ottolenghi, which is the age 61, the daughter of Abe and Joan Ottolenghi, just passed away. So I thought that should be shared with the club.
Thank you. And that's terrible news, but thanks for sharing it.
Yes.
Abe's son, David, very good soccer player. Was a year behind me in high school, and as I recall, he's a doctor now. That means he got in a lot less trouble than I did. Anybody else? Any other happy dollars? What's going on this week? Somebody said they're going to New Orleans.
Yes.
Did you miss all the fun?
No, we're gonna get the fun because we won't have to stand in line to go get into a restaurant.
Mardi Gras is taking place. If you've ever been in New Orleans, please throw in $1. By the way, everybody just get your $3 out because it's gonna happen. Let's see what you guys know about, guys and gals know about Mardi Gras. This is for everybody. Your money is at risk. What is the day before Mardi Gras called? That's a pretty good guess, but you're wrong. It's called Lundi Gras. Where was the first known carnival celebration? You ought to be able to figure out the country, but
Rio.
nope.
Yeah.
The first known Mardi Gras celebration was in Nice, France. Within 50 years, when was the earliest known carnival celebration? Jerry Katz was not there. What's that?
1790.
Well, you're off by about 500 years. 1294. Next question. Get your money out until you've spent 3. Bacchus is the Roman god of what?
Wine.
Good answer. That's correct. It's about time you got one right. When was the first New Orleans Mardi Gras? I'll give you 10 years leeway on that. Not a bad guess. Fortunately, guests are exempt from the fines. 1837. Everybody up to $3? With all those incorrect answers, have a great week. Enjoy New Orleans.
Okay, our speaker today will be introduced by Linda Federico.
Lisa.
Lisa.
Linda's sister, Lisa.
No, your name is Linda Federico. I think I called you that for a long time.
Yeah, ever since I started. It's my pleasure to introduce Teresa Brown to you today. Teresa is an accomplished leader and advocate in the field of recovery and networking. She currently serves as executive director of Cup of Purpose Recovery Cafe, where she is dedicated to supporting individuals in recovery through community-focused initiatives and resources. Teresa plays a vital role in the cafe's mission to provide a safe, welcoming space for people to heal, grow, and rebuild their lives. With a daughter currently homeless and in addiction, she strives to continue to bridge the gap between family and friends of those in addiction with those in recovery, wherever they are in the process. In addition to her role at Cup of Purpose, Teresa is the chapter leader of the Connected Networking Group West Columbus, where she fosters professional relationships and empowers local entrepreneurs and business leaders to grow and thrive. Her work emphasizes collaboration, mutual support, and a commitment to making a positive impact in her community. Teresa's leadership, passion for helping others, and commitment to creating meaningful connections have made her a respected figure in both the recovery and business communities in Columbus, Ohio. So without further ado, please welcome Teresa.
You see me behind the screen. Thank you all so much for having me today. Like I said, I'm Teresa Brown. Actually, I was married to two men, one by the name of Goins and one Cummings. So I was, now I'm back to Brown, my maiden name. Every now and then I slip up. But as I said, I'm the executive director and founder of Cup of Purpose Recovery Cafe. And it all started over a cup of coffee and conversation. 16 years ago, I walked away from my religion, which meant I lost my family and I divorced my husband because I knew that that was not where I was meant to be. And I needed to find who I was and what that purpose was for me, even at the expense of losing my family. And so in that journey, though, the first thing that I discovered was that I did miss community. I did miss a place of belonging. And so I kept thinking to myself, how am I gonna create that for myself? But I also needed to figure out who I was. I didn't even know who I was and what I wanted. You know, it was a kind of a cult environment. So, you know, I didn't have a lot of exposure to the world and to the way things were going. So it was like living my 20s and my 40s, you know, learning all the hard knocks and how life works and all that stuff, making a lot of poor decisions as well. And I said, you know what? I love coffee. Maybe I could have a coffee shop. And I said, I love the coziness of it. People get to come in and I can pour a cup of coffee and I can be nosy and ask them a bunch of questions and find out about their life and who they are and, you know, just learn what they've been through, you know. And so I said, I want it to be an inspirational place, a place where people can, you know, grow and find their tribe. And it's like, I wanted inspirational messages in the bottom of the cup, which is why the of purpose is coming out of the steam. It's the message in the cup. And I wanted chalkboard walls where people could write their feelings and write their thoughts and dreams and visions. And, you know, it's all this dream and all this, you know, but it's never going to happen because I don't know anything about running a coffee shop. I just know how to drink coffee and talk. So like, how am I going to make this happen? And what's stopping, you know, people are like, you gotta do it, you gotta do it. It's a great idea. And I was just like, I just don't know how, I don't know where to start. And then all the bad decisions I'm making is just piling one on top of the other. I ended up in a relationship with someone with narcissistic behaviors. And I didn't know what it was, and I was trying to fix it, and I was working hard at it. And finally, I gave up, said, I can't do this anymore. My daughter became addicted to Percocets at the age of 24. She had two daughters, or she has two daughters. At the time, they were 7 and 8. And I said, what am I doing? Why am I out here doing this? Why did I, you know, lose my family, divorce their father, do all these things for all the decisions that I'm making that is amounting to nothing? And I got to a point where I was like, I don't even want to be here anymore. They deserve me not to be here anymore. I'm just a bad example of picking all the wrong people. Even though my heart was trying to do the right thing, my behaviors were not helping. And I knew I had at least this little inkling in the back of my brain that said, you can't think that way. You know, there's something not right about you not wanting to be here. And I said, I spent 72 hours journaling, meditating, and listening to audibles for 72 hours. I said, something's gotta change. I can't be in this space. And so 72 hours later, I was a completely different person, ready to take on the world. At that point, I divorced my second husband. I still had my daughter, in addiction, and it was going downhill, and she finally ended up out on the street. And I had to transition my granddaughters to their father, who was actually initially responsible for a lot of the troubles that my daughter was in. But he had changed so much and ended up becoming my hero. And he's a great father, and I'm really happy that the girls have him. But what happened was, all this time that even though I wanted a coffee shop, and I couldn't have it, I said, I could still meet people out for coffee. And that's what I did. It's like, 2 or 3 times a week, I meet somebody for coffee and I get to know them and I write about them on Facebook and what I learned about them and the importance of connection and just continuing to just meet people and learn from each other. And there was a lady who introduced me to Gabor Mate, who was instrumental in the research on the relationship between trauma and addiction. And it was like, all of a sudden, the heavens opened up and said, here's your purpose you've been waiting for. It's like, this is the path you get to go down. So all I could do, and it all kind of boils back down to my childhood and the things that I knew as a child about trauma, but no one else, at that time, it wasn't a thing. But I felt like I knew something that nobody else knew at the time, but I'm sure it wasn't. But that's why it came full circle for me, and I knew that that was what I wanted to do. And so I took a lot of classes and I even went through therapy with therapists because I wanted to be able to tell my daughter how it worked. Not because I needed it, but because I could help her with it. But what ultimately happened in that therapy was that I reconnected with who I was as a child, all the things that meant something to me, and I found my purpose full circle in that therapy. It helped me relieve all the limiting beliefs that I had developed from my childhood, the things that I was taught not to go after money, not to pursue material things or like your own interests. It was all had to be, in our religion. I didn't realize how much of that was affecting me from taking any steps of doing anything. But it really supported me in taking that next step, because she said to me, you have to go check out Recovery Cafe in Indianapolis. It sounds a lot like your coffee shop. So I go to Indianapolis. Sure enough, I felt all the feels that I wanted to feel. It was in a church. It didn't look exactly like what I wanted my coffee shop to look like. But when I found the original Recovery Cafe, 10,000 square feet in Seattle, Washington, beautiful, looks just like the coffee shop I wanted, everything in it. And I knew that that's what my cup of purpose was waiting for, the purpose and the place. And now it's a nonprofit. I'll get to all the background about it in a minute. But here I was, it's all about connection over coffee. And anyway, I started the Recovery Cafe. And one of the things that we do in the cafe is a recovery circle. And we talk about our struggle, and then we talk about our growth for the week, and then we talk about our goals. So we acknowledge the struggles, we give them the space that they should have, we get them out of our system, but we move on to what's good that's happened, and then what's the next step. So when we leave the circle, we're not leaving on a note of, oh, this is what happened. It's not on a negative connotation. So what happened for me over these years is the struggles that I had, the grieving over the loss of my family due to religious beliefs, the feeling alone in the world, the need to find my purpose, my daughter being unhoused and self-medicating, marrying and divorcing my second husband with narcissistic behaviors. Those were things that I dealt with and I had to go through, but in my own, I left out a really great part of this, is that part of that time when I was healing, I was living with my daughter, and we spent a whole winter just binge watching Survivor. We'd get home from work, strip off our clothes, put on pajamas, and lay on the couch. And I had no responsibilities. I said, this is my reset time. I just want to be with somebody safe. I want to not be responsible for anything else. And from here on out, the only thing that comes into my world is what I want, what matters to me, what lights me up, what feels like the aligns with who I am. And so that was my reset, is that safe space with my daughter. And so anyway, getting back to this, my transformation from all of this or my growth is transformation, not feeling alone anymore. I have my purpose at the cafe. I have a great relationship with my daughter. And I want to mention this too. One of the classes that I took was called Families of Those in Addiction. And it helped me transition from fighting with her, from being angry, from frustration, all the things, because she's not getting her life together. She has daughters that are counting on her. She needs to do this. She needs to do that. All those things that I was feeling. This class helped me see it differently, helped me to see her as a human being who is self-medicating, who is coping with something, and it allowed me to see her through compassion and understanding. And what I did was, I said, you know what, this is your journey. It's not mine. If this is your choice, you get to do this. My choice is that I get peace and that I get to still be mom. So I would go into the walk-in centers on the west side, and I volunteered. And I knew she came in there sometimes, although it was a women's place for them to come in off the street. And she'd sleep on my lap. I said, just lay on my lap, let me rub your back and your shoulder and just be mom for an hour. Even though, she was in the condition that she was in, I still got to be mom. And everyone there I wish my mom would come in and do this with me. And then I'd go DoorDash sometimes and pick her up and say, well, just ride with me for a quick DoorDash. And then one day I looked at her and I said, you're really happy out here, aren't you? And she looked at me like I had 5 heads. Like, why are you saying that? And she said, yeah, Mom, I am. She said, I feel like this is where I belong. It's my community. And it occurred to me, that's what she built for herself. It might not be what I think is the right thing. It might not necessarily be safe and, healthy, but it's her choice and she feels that way. And I get to acknowledge that for her. And as soon as I accepted her and her decision and keep my boundaries, our relationship is great. Like, she comes into the cafe sometimes and sometimes I tell her you have to leave, but it's okay. Because I know she loves me, I love her, and she's not doing this to me. And a lot of the anger is usually parents' guilt. It's like, what did I do wrong? How did this happen? And life just happens, and we can only control ourselves. So anyway, that's what I say, and I have a great relationship with my daughter, and I'm now open to healthy relationships. And the goal is to continue, I have passed it, but is to continue building more cafes and helping other people start cafes around Ohio. There are 77 around the country now, but I'll get to that in a minute. But these are all like common struggles and common traumas that people go through, and they all result in. Oops, I passed it up, but it's, loneliness, ADHD, depression, suicide, self-medicating, all those things. And the power of community and connection. Recovery is not just about overcoming addiction, but it's identifying unresolved traumas, healing, and building lives in a safe community. A strong, supportive community is essential to sustain healing and transformation. Connection is the antidote to addiction. And research shows that compassionate, connection-based approaches to healing rather than punitive measures and connected-based therapies and mindfulness training improve recovery outcomes by fostering belonging and self-awareness. So this is where Cup of Purpose comes in. We're a safe, inclusive space of love, connection, and community without judgment, serving all people in recovery, and we're all recovering from something to find their own path to a peaceful and purposeful best life. And so this is a picture of a few of us, some of the staff, some of the members, and we're hugging all the time. So when you come in, if you ever come in, you're just gonna get hugged. That just kind of restates the other thing. It is a nonprofit organization. We are a 501c3. This is our mission. I just told you about. Our vision really is dedicated to creating a happier, more inclusive world with reduced conflict and enhanced social support. It's rooted in prioritizing safety, fostering deep connections, and building strong community, and understand that the critical role of physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being in improving society as a whole. Here's our membership. This is a membership-based program. It's free, but it requires accountability and a commitment to be drug and alcohol-free in the space. You don't have to be in recovery, just you can't be actively high in the space so that you're present, and it's for the safety of everyone. To participate in one weekly recovery circle a week and to contribute to the cafe community by doing dishes, helping serve, cleaning up after, and helping each other, support each other. And with that, you get a free meal every time we're open. We have a recovery circle that's 8 to 10 people in a circle. And they go over a struggle, growth, and a goal for the week and allow feedback from the group. And there's a school of recovery. So there's workshops based on the need of the community. So we base it on what they want, not what we want to bring in. And it could be yoga, meditation, financial literacy, and things like that. We haven't had a social event yet, but we will be doing that soon. We are in our first year. So I didn't mention that, but we do support multiple pathways to recovery, not just one size fits all. So it's really based on who you are and what works for you. And we try to find,
I'm going back home. With my family. I enjoyed it here. Y'all been really good to me. All the time. I thought I was going to start drinking again, but y'all got me out of that, and I'm still sober.
Yeah, awesome. Well, we're gonna miss you.
It's been over 6 months now. I've been a member here, and it's been really joyful.
The Cup of Purpose changed my life by giving me a chance to actually come to people as a group and community to where I can talk to, let off a lot of things I'm going off my chest I'm going through, and have a support system. And even when I'm having a bad day, they're here to pick me up, help me keep focused, and keep striving to better myself, and to actually stay strong. And I'm here for other people in this room as well, and to be moral support, and pretty much hold each other accountable at the end of the day, and be emotional support with them as well.
Okay, I'm Alex. I am new to the Recovery Cafe. When I first got here, I was a little cautious because normally I am cautious in a group setting, but as soon as I started associating, I automatically felt comfortable. I jumped right in, and normally I wouldn't. So I definitely feel at home here.
So like I said, there's 77 cafes around the country. Since 2016, there's about 10 of them growing every year. We're the only one in Ohio. So Indiana has look at how many they have. It's crazy. So this is the impact, the 2024 impact for all cafes and stuff. Over 200,000 visits, over 228,000 meals served, 10,000 members, and 19,000 recovery circles. This is Recovery Cafe San Jose, and this might give you a better like understanding of where we're trying to get to. So right now, we currently have, it averages about 18 to 20 members. So we're open on Tuesday and Thursday evenings for just a few hours each night. The goal is to be open 5 days a week, 7, 8 hours a day. So there's always, where they can come in as much as they want to, but this will probably help you get a better, clearer understanding.
So, name, how long you've been here, and just what was life like before, and what's it become for you now?
Well, my name's Daniel. I've been coming here, it'll be 3 years in July. Let me see, life before the Recovery Cafe.
I was looking at 5 years in prison.
I was living on the streets, addicted to fentanyl, addicted to meth.
Well, I have a PhD in computer science and was diagnosed with schizophrenia.
I was a very successful businessman. I had my own construction company.
My support system consisted of users and abusers.
So Recovery Cafe and the model, which is now replicated in 64 cafes across the US, is really pretty simple. We're a membership program. To become a member, there's no cost, but you must agree to certain things. One of them is to attend a weekly recovery circle, which is a support group, to give back to the community through community service. And the final one is that while you're in the cafe space, to remain alcohol and drug free. And that's for a person's personal safety as well as the community safety.
Hi, my name is Christine Ferry. I am the behavioral health specialist here at Recovery Cafe San Jose. I began my career as a surgical trauma nurse in the intensive care unit at Stanford Hospital. I transferred to Santa Clara County and was the director of adult custody mental health for 20 years. I've seen firsthand every aspect of the services that our county systems have to offer. Nothing compares to the Recovery Cafe. We currently have 250 members, and we get 10 to 20 new members coming to orientation every week. We're growing exponentially. 3 of our 11 paid staff are members who have worked their way up into paid positions.
My name is Adrian Rodriguez. I've been coming to the Recovery Cafe since 2018. My role here at the cafe is I'm a navigation resource specialist. It's done a lot for me. My personal growth as a person with a mental health condition and addiction issues too. There's a good amount of people in recovery from mental health issues and addiction issues.
People are dehumanized by addiction, by mental illness, by homelessness. They become used to being invisible. When they come in and sit at a table and have a cup of coffee, they start to relax. And it takes a minute for them to even be able to look up and make eye contact, let alone start to participate. And little by slow, they make eye contact. And they start to talk in their circles, and they realize everybody else has some similarity to their story. And those people are getting better. And if they can get better, I can get better. We have programs here in the cafe where our members can develop skills to become peer mentors and then be a peer support person to other members. We have barista training where they can learn how to make coffees. And this is a transferable skill.
I was homeless. I had a mental illness. I was homeless for maybe 15 years at that time. I have a place and I've been indoors for 4 years. I became a barista, which I've been doing the barista for about 6 years now. I enjoy it. Really, this is a place to belong. It feels like home, because we're all family.
Oftentimes people leave here to City College and get California drug and alcohol training and become a certified, peer counselor or a drug addiction specialist.
My name is Rose Isabella, and I have been coming to the cafe since January of 2018. I am the substance abuse peer specialist. And it's the first position that I've had since I've been clean that I didn't have to be secretive about the meetings that I go to. As I talk to the members about their lives and they come up with hang-ups, there's literally a 12-step program for everything.
Healing does not occur in a vacuum. Healing occurs in a community where you're valued, where you're held in loving accountability. That's what we do at the Recovery Cafe. This is your community. By giving your support, you can provide your members with an opportunity to thrive.
Gave me that spurt of hope, you know, other people I can relate to with my life and my background.
Helping me, like guide me, give me directions, navigating the system with housing, employment.
You can't buy this. And if this place teaches you anything, it'll teach you empathy and sympathy.
Recovery Cafe, drop by as a guest, become a member, and be part of a team. Yeah.
Have some coffee.
Drink a coffee.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I don't know how to get out of this. Okay. So anyway, that's where we're headed. That's where we're going. That's where we want to be, and all of that, takes funding. We do have a fundraiser coming up this Friday evening. It's a dinner concert called Broadway and Beyond. Tickets ended yesterday, but we still have a silent auction. Oh,
Things got a mind of its own.
there we go. I don't know how to get back my other. But anyway, like I said, we're new. Grants are hard to come by for us right now, but any support, I have some flyers I'll put out here if anybody's interested. But we do have a silent auction going on now. The ticket QR code would take you there if you're interested in like trying to be in on the silent auction. But thank you for your time.
Any questions for Teresa?
Have they located?
Or what for you?
Oh, I didn't know if you were gonna go out. It's on the west side of Columbus. It's in a church called Westgate United Methodist Church. We rent out the kitchen and the basement. It's our space, so that's where we are. Westgate Hilltop area.
Yeah, are you associated with AA or other treatment programs directly?
There are AA meetings that meet at the church, after us, but we don't have AA meetings in our space, in our place, just because they already have them there outside of our cafe hours. But
How about clinicians or other?
I'm sorry.
How about clinicians or other folks that are students?
Oh, we do have, we have a couple of therapists that come in and let people know. We kind of try to partner with a lot of the places in the area, so they come in and let everyone know of the services that they have to offer. So they're always, gives them that space. We had a financial advisor come in last night, talk about budgeting. So we have a lot of resources in this space.
You said that they can't be high when they come. How do you know that?
Sometimes that's hard, but we kind of just base it on, can we have a conversation? Because at the door, they come in and sign in and check in, and we have conversation with them, greet them, hug them, whatever. And usually in those few minutes, we can tell if they're.
But you don't drug test?
No. Sometimes it gets a little hard because some people have mental health challenges. So knowing the difference between the two, we can't be perfect all the time, but it's pretty.
You have a website?
Yes, it's cupofpurpose.org. Thank you, guys.
Well, now we have a raffle. And I think Bonnie Beth is gonna circulate. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, $46 in the weekly.
You want to pull one of these?
Who was hoping you'd ask? So they want to pay me to pull theirs?
0234780. Is that you?
No, I wish.
Jim Allen.
Yep.
$46.
Yeah, to the
Speaker
cafe.
You just made $46. And how much is in the big pot today?
$373.
Zero, two, three, 473. Oh, 7304.
Right.
There we go.
Kenneth was well drawn. Okay, before we leave, let's stand and recite the four-way test. Of the things that we think, say, and do, first. Second.
Care to all concerned.
Third. Fourth.
Be fair to all concerned.
Thank you, everybody. Remember to turn in your badges before you leave.
Sign up for the
So thank you for coming. It's very interesting. It's really enjoyed it.
Oh, no, it's in the total, that's spiking again. Great.
I know he's 75.
Right. Or across the street. I was meeting to their dignity. When I was in California. I was in California. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Not kidding. She delayed it in Evening Street. Yeah, my brother.
Hell no. Happy to help, but I don't know exactly what to do. Do we leave the sound system out? Sound system belongs to Trillium, correct? Well, it's ours, I think. But this is, for sure. That. Steve knows what's going on. Better than you and I. Obviously.
I saw two.
Well, actually.
So if you put up stars here, I would have thought that could have pulled down a little higher.
Charlie in his vertical challenge. But I pull this thing down.
Okay.
It throws in the box.
Yeah. So this thing comes off.
Fold this up.
Yep.
I understand somebody knows. We've been here all afternoon trying to figure this. Wish I could do that. And then you. Look at that guy bending over to pick all this stuff, all the drugs in his back. Must be working. He's going to big container, don't they? Yes.
Where's the cutoff on this thing? Do you see the? Yeah. I'm gonna have to get Steve over here. Cause I can't find a shut off switch on this. There it is here.